I hate you, James Harden.
What the hell did he do to you?
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Put my Warriors in the playing round, but it's their own fault. I will say that truthfully.
Mm-mm.
But I also will say this. Whatever y'all thought you saw on the slate for today, throw it out.
You know what?
Do it.
Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up. I got to thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah!
Let's get it!
I was distracted by my beautiful wife's voice. Good morning. Welcome to the Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us, and a little something different on the table today. This first hour is powered by SeatGeek. Use code Snowman for $20 off of your first purchase. That's only with the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. The dog is back. Vicola is also. How we doing, gentlemen?
Doing all right, as per usual. How's the baseball feel already?
You know what? To say that I felt at home would be a tremendous understatement. Because, man, I can't even describe what that felt.
Mm-hmm.
Had a dry rehearsal, which got rained on. Because
Happens.
went through 5 innings. Went through 5 innings in the rain. I got soaked on the way back to the truck.
Right.
Yeah, that happens.
Had the real thing with even though that game did count on the record. It's like you're waiting for the game where it's like all comes together.
Yep.
That was Scottsburg. That was against Scottsburg on Friday. Even though we lost 4-2, it had everything. Saturday, it was the first game was even better because it ended on an incredible double play.
Mm.
It was against Floyd Central, the Highlanders.
Mm.
We had just taken the lead back 6-3. No, check that, 6-4. They get 3 in the top of the 6th. We get 3 in the bottom of the 6th, get the lead. Floyd Central starts a rally. Then a strikeout happens. And then I'm feeling like Bugs Bunny saying, me and my big fat mouth. I said, and Victor, you heard me, a nice double play would end this thing.
Right.
2 pitches later.
I was listening to this.
2 pitches later, smack, Asher caught it, raced to the bag, won the race, game over. And everybody in the booth looking at me.
Man pulled a Johnny Carson out here.
Right.
Yep. The playmaker is with us. He's the first in our Fanatics feedback zone. It's the Magnificent Monday. It's the McMagnificent Monday. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let me get a few random thoughts off my chest. The Warriors choked away the 6th seed, but I see them doing the impossible. We get to see Memphis, which means we get to see them in our house. So unlike 2021, and just like 2024, one play-in game, only this will be a win, and we're off to the playoffs to beat up Houston. Meanwhile, I don't trust the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't trust the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't care who wins the most valuable player. I don't care. Why? Because it's insignificant.
It has been for a while. What are we
It has
talking about?
been for the longest time.
Unless Jokic ends up winning it, who cares?
Look, Jokic is not going to. You know what? Just for the record, they're going to give Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a pity MVP the same way they did for Joel Embiid.
If SGA gets it over what the hell Joker's done this season, the NBA is screwed.
It's in the book.
Oh.
It's in the book. I'm putting it in the book right now. They're going to give SGA the most valuable player, and he doesn't deserve it.
What the hell has he done this season?
Not a blank thing. And congratulations to Rory McIlroy winning the Masters in one of the most insane final rounds and playoff round that any of us ever saw.
Yeah, that was
Rory
crazy.
McIlroy out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere.
Rory out there looking like Tiger.
Yep.
And you know what? It was on this day in 2019 where Tiger won his 5th green jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, because of all the injuries since then, I think that'll be his last one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
But it's injury based more than
it is. It is. And Tiger hasn't been the same since
no, he
any
has
of the injuries.
Yeah, and these were significant injuries he's been trying to come back from. But our congratulations to Rory McIlroy. How do you explain that? And I saw some of the shots that he made. I nearly said a bad word.
Mm-hmm.
Some shots that he made had that final round was a roller coaster ride. Look, I'm not too long for roller coasters, especially being 52 right now. But I will say, when I did ride roller coasters, they were nothing compared to the final round in Augusta, Georgia.
Right.
Ing.
It was wild. I caught a little bit of it. I was flipping back and forth between Kyle Larson dominating Bristol and catching some of the Masters. And holy hell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some of those shots had no business landing where they did.
You know that chip Tiger made at Augusta in 2005?
The one that Nike ended up using for a commercial?
The one where Vern Lundquist said, "In your life, have you ever seen anything like that?"
That's the one.
You can multiply that 5 times and you still won't equal what the hell happened in Augusta on Sunday afternoon. That was crazy.
Unreal.
I told y'all about my golf experience, of which there was only one. My dad brought me golf clubs and I thought they were baseball bats. So to play that kind of round,
And
trailing,
then to take it to the playoff.
take it to the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where's Jim Mora? Hold on a minute.
Playoff?
Wait, I got you. And then for McElroy to deal with the
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Playmaker brings up a good point. If Rory had not won, I don't know if he would have recovered. Let me get you guys' thoughts on that. Do you think he would have recovered had he lost that round?
It would have taken a while.
Yeah, it
would have taken a while. It probably would have blown his year easily, but it would have taken him a while to recover.
Now you have to ask the big question here, because I've said this of Tiger for a few times. Will it allow Rory to complete the slam in a calendar year?
That's a good question.
I don't think he has it to complete the slam in a calendar year. There's just way too many good players coming up.
Ooh-wee. Way too much competition, man. But I'm glad he got this one.
Like I said, and of course, this one has been so much fun because you had Keegan Bradley with the hole in one during the par 3 challenge.
Look, Keegan Bradley, I hate you. And I mean that very, very, very kiddingly. Because he made a shot on a big course that I was only able to make on a mini golf course.
Right. And then
the only hole in one in my life.
Yeah. And
I'm actually looking at the locations for the.
Darnell says he got the career slam so he can breathe. Good.
Yeah, he's got the career because trying to do it in a calendar year. I'm looking at the other 3 locations for the majors.
Mm-hmm.
Good freaking luck.
Yeah.
The U.S. Open is at the Oakmont Country Club out in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. The PGA is at Quail Hollow in Charlotte.
You know what?
Here's your butt kicker. The British Open
is
in Royal Portrush, Ardmore, Northern Ireland. That course is evil.
Say that course again for the British Open.
Royal Portrush in Ardmore, Northern Ireland.
I don't want to play that course. Listen, the most adventurous part of me thought I could walk the course in Charlotte.
Quail Hollow.
Notice the key word. Thought. I could walk that course in Charlotte.
Yeah, no.
My legs told me, you're fired. My brain said,
stop it. Get some help.
My mouth looked at it and said, My back looked at it and said,
why the you lying? Why you always lying?
And of course, overall, we 3 kings of sports talk say,
hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no.
Because at the end of the day, it always turns into this.
Ain't no way. Ain't no. Hell no. Thank you, Stephen. No. And that course in Ireland, that'll give me a tiger uppercut before I even reach the first hole.
And to think that most of the holes out there are bare minimum 400 to 425.
Right.
And the par 5s and the par fives are sitting north of 550.
You know what? Even a look, even if you're given an extra stroke, the par 5 instead of a par 4. Nope.
And the crazy thing is, their par threes are anywhere in the ballpark of 180 to 210.
And the wind in Northern
Oh,
Ireland.
that's the thing. The wind out on that course whips.
And the wind in Northern Ireland.
Especially in the time of year they're doing this.
Which equivalent to us is midsummer.
Yeah.
Actually, for them the Open is July 17th to 20th. So out there, yes, it's still summer, but on that course is closer to the water than what people think.
Nope. I couldn't do it. I could not and will. Chris.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Who drew that course?
Don't know.
Who designed that? Who designed that course?
I have no idea.
No. I'm going nowhere near any golf courses in Ireland. Can't do it.
Great googly moogly.
Oh, look at that course, and I'm thinking Paul Allen.
Are you kidding me?
I'm going to videoize that one. Which I'll stick to video game golfing, says Playmaker, which I still can't win the Masters. I'm not even trying.
Little PGA 2K25 for everybody right there.
The first golf game I ever saw had one of the most innovative, stupid, and crazy elements ever on a video game. You've seen it on Centipede. You've seen it on Millipede.
Trackball.
Exactly.
Isn't that a Golden Tee?
Golden Tee.
Yeah. I have only ever seen that in bars. I have never seen it anywhere else but in bars.
You know what? I couldn't help it during a Super Bowl party, Super Bowl 46, which I played at, which I won a ton of money at Mother Hubbard's. I tried playing it. I lasted 2 swings because every time I brought the club back and wound up, and I was watching everybody in front of me, watching and wound up, and I got ready to do this, my hand would slip.
You would slice it
badly. And I just kept saying, what the
I may have just gone down the rabbit hole when it comes to this one.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
And the course that they're going to be playing on this year out in Ireland officially, the Dunluss Links, is rated as one of the most challenging and spectacular links courses in the world.
That's a lie. That's a lie. You know why that's a lie?
Why?
Because I'm going nowhere near it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at all 18 holes. And you're starting with a par 4 that the back tee, you're sitting at 416. Your next one's a par 5 at 572.
Right.
That ain't right. To start with a par 4 and then back it up with a par 5? What?
And the thing is, this course, the back 9 is really close to the water.
Come here. Say that again, honey.
I said, you do know you're black and you're not allowed to talk about golf.
I am.
or we're not supposed to talk about baseball either.
I made the mess. Now you get to clean it up.
Thank you, sweetie.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Dr. K.
The legendary Dr. K. Who began the day waving behind. Y'all see that door behind me? She was waving her hands. Let's take a break. When we get back, we're talking draft. NFL draft, that is. And I have a very important programming note. In the meantime, there's French toast in front of me. I'm going to kill it throughout the show. Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister?
Yes.
No.
You pushed a button early.
I didn't push no button early.
Yes, you did.
I didn't push no button.
I didn't.
I didn't.
I was busy eating. Welcome back to this edition of Snowman in the Morning. And let's talk WNBA draft, shall we? We'll get to the NFL draft during the second hour. There have been 5 players that have completed the women's basketball double play, which means winning a national championship and beginning their WNBA career as the number 1 overall draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
They are Sue Bird in 2002, Diana Taurasi in 2004, Candace Parker 2008, Tina Charles in 2010, and Breanna Stewart in 2016. Now, save Candace Parker. What do they all have in common? I'll tell you the answer. Except for Candace Parker, who played at Tennessee, every other pick I named played at UConn.
Yep.
Sue Bird, 02. Diana Taurasi, 2 years after that. Tina Charles, 2010. And Breanna Stewart, who was the only player in women's NCAA history with 4 consecutive titles and 4 consecutive most outstanding players.
Wow.
Most outstanding player awards. Breanna Stewart. There will be another one tonight, as Paige Beckers is slated to go number 1 overall after leading Connecticut to a dominant, and I do mean a dominant, national championship where they beat every one of their opponents by at least 20 points. Now, side note to come out with this concerning Paige Beckers. Paige Beckers has also signed a 3-year deal with the Unrivaled League, which I think is good for 2 reasons. One, it finally gives them a face. I mean, love you, Breanna Stewart, but you're talking about a league that's still cooking, that's still in the oven cooking, you know?
Yeah.
It's better to have better to have her as a face than Angel Reese.
Hey, let's not lie, okay? I've had so many people ask me, what is Angel Reese lacking? I had so many people approach me and say, why don't you like Angel Reese? My answer is pretty simple. She doesn't play basketball.
It's not just that.
She's more hell-bent on being a model than being a basketball player.
Well, it's not just that, because everyone's going to say, well, that was put upon her. That was placed upon her by media. Because let's be for real, she's a very attractive young. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, Angel's a very attractive young lady. Everyone is going to look to that before anything else. So I think a lot of them put upon the fact of you should be the pretty girl, the sexy girl, stuff like that. Now, can she do both is the question. Can she be an attractive girl and play basketball? I say yes. But she has to have the right people around her.
Also needs to work on that jump shot more.
Well, that's the thing. She has to have the right people around her. The people around her are just having her go towards her image and not her game. That's the problem.
The other thing she needs to do is hit some free throws.
Mm.
Because we've talked about it here on the show. There have been some games down the stretch before an injury canned her season where she could have put Chicago on top and didn't because she missed free throws. I mean, by God, the talent's there. All right.
But
there's work ethic coupled with it.
That's the thing.
It's rounding off those rough edges.
Yes.
I mean, she
there's
had
no work ethic coupled with it. And I'll be the first to say that. Doggone chair.
I mean, look at when we were covering her during the playoff runs that she had in college. She had times when she was dominant.
Yeah.
Very.
I mean, when they played Iowa the second time, and I'm talking about for the regional championship, hey, 17 points, 21 rebounds on a bad knee.
Yeah,
okay.
That was a ballsy performance. It's just the fact of the matter is now, can she tap back into it?
Well,
Playmaker says Angel Reese should have a better year. The great Lisa Leslie have been working with Reese.
There you go.
You know what? I still question it. Prove it. I'm telling Angel Reese, and I'm looking at y'all right now. Angel Reese, I know you're talented. And I know you've been working with Lisa Leslie. Got wind of that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 2-word command for you. Prove it.
Well, we have to wait until the season starts.
And I can't wait. I can't wait.
So
because go ahead.
I was about to say, since we're talking about the draft, once again, yours truly decides to drift down the rabbit hole sideways.
Yeah, I'm falling with you, and I'm going head first.
Well, I found what the mock draft is looking like going into tonight.
Where'd you find that?
Where else? The 4-letter network.
That's all I need to know.
So
when you're there, and I will join you there right now.
As we all know, Paige is going to be the 1 seed.
Yeah,
19.9, 4.4, and 4.6 while shooting 53.4 from the field and 42 from 3.
Which is bleeping ridiculous.
Where do you think she's going?
Which is
who has the first? Who has the first pick?
Dallas.
Ooh.
Whoa. Time. Play-by-play with JJ is with us, and what are you talking? JJ, whom are you referring to? I'll wait for him to answer. Go on.
I'm about to say what? Seattle Storm has the 2 pick, and they're looking to take someone out of France, Dominique Malonga.
Yeah. What? Come on, JJ. Don't kid with me like that.
JJ's not wanting a kid like that.
I know.
You've got to be shitting me.
No.
You've got to be shitting me.
Not the one that we know.
Not the D-Hop we know.
Not the D-Hop.
What happened?
Oh God.
JJ, clear this up. Tell us it ain't the D-Hop we know.
It ain't the. Drop the link in the chat, please, Shane. No, it was what? Hold on, folks. We may be shutting this shit down early. No.
Seriously?
I'm looking it up now. I am looking this up now.
Hold on, I'm looking it up too.
He said he just found out. I'm looking this up right now. Oh my
makes 3 of us.
I will cry. I will absolutely be heartbroken. We're looking all this up now, folks. No, that's the merch page. Oh no. Dear God.
What? I can't find anything.
I'm not finding anything either, but I know JJ wouldn't kid with me like this.
No.
He wouldn't kid with us like this.
Hang on a second. I got another way to check something. Hang on a sec.
Okay.
Let me see if hang on a second here.
Jason just sent me something. Oh no. Hello,
What?
YouTube family. This is Nessie, Darian's fiance. I'm sorry to bring you guys some really bad news, but Darian passed away Sunday night, Monday morning at 2 a.m. I'm sorry. I know this is a shocker. Just keep me and the family in your prayers. He loved what he did, and you guys supported him, and that's all you could ask for. God damn it! It is true. Oh my God. Oh my God. It is true, folks. We lost a brother.
Oh my God.
Early this morning. Darian, we love you, man. You were just getting started in your craft. You had leaned on me and I leaned on you for any and everything.
That's messed up. And I was just thinking that if we weren't going to do the draft this year, I was going to jump on his stream. Because I did it last year.
You did. You did.
I jumped on his NFL draft stream last year.
And I know one thing. Darian absolutely loved what he did.
Oh, absolutely.
He loved what he did. Well, you know what, Darian? We're pushing on for you, brother. This one hurts.
Badly.
This one hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And I'm looking at this. Oh, my gosh.
Let's take a break.
Please.
Let's take a break.
Take us to break. And we'll get our thoughts together. We'll get everything back together. We'll continue with the draft, and we'll do this in his honor because I know this is something that he was very, very passionate about.
And you know what? We'll start off. I know that we usually go in order. We'll start off with the needs for the Raiders.
We will. Let's go. Let's do that. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll honor Darian throughout the course of the show with the needs for the Raiders. We'll continue our coverage of the WNBA draft. And to Nessie and Darian's family, all our prayers and our love are with you. Yeah. All right?
Too damn good and too damn young, man. We're back in the deuce, guys.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
Do you remember our first group photo? This is it. Smiles all around, even though we were all nervous.
Who could have imagined that our first weekend together would soon turn into a lifetime of memories?
You're an amazing young man. Your brothers and sisters really look up to you. They're a big brother.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
There are so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
I ain't never felt so much love before in my life.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meep of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central. Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code SNOWMAN, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
It's no secret. Today's consumer wants convenience and likes things on the go. They want to be listened to and receive instant solutions to their queries. This can often make or break the customer service experience. That's why it makes convenient interactions easy for you. Whether your customers want to connect with you via text, Facebook Messenger, Google, Instagram, or website, all messages now come to the one easy-to-use inbox, so you don't have to check a dozen different sites from the platform. From here, you can send SMS or email, answer questions, schedule appointments, take payments, and close more deals simply by messaging back and forth with your customers. When someone searches for a business like yours, they will look at your reviews. So unless you have more positive reviews, they'll choose someone else. Luck makes it easy to collect hundreds or even thousands of reviews from your customers. Simply send a review invitation or create automation that requests customer reviews right after the sale, or maybe right after a service is completed. It will take them 30 seconds or less to leave the review. Now those reviews will show up on the search result and increase your ranking that matters most. Plus, our advanced reporting will show you exactly where your leads are coming from and if your website or ads are doing their job. So why are you waiting? Put your business way in front of your competitors, get more leads, convert more of those leads to paying customers by getting started with today.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
We just found out some devastating news that our brother Darian Hopkins passed away early this morning. So we're going to take Victor's suggestion and highlight what the Raiders need. We're going to continue our coverage of the WNBA draft and do our mock draft and take a look at a mock draft, I should say. But you know what? Darian also loved to laugh.
He did.
In the time that we had gotten to know him, and I got to know him 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He loved to laugh. He absolutely loved it. And I'm going to share a story where he had the first time I appeared on air with him, he had a layout of what I'm laughing, already thinking about it. He had a layout of which way he wanted the show to go, and it was a football show that we were doing, football prospectus.
Right.
He showed me a cover, or the cover of Madden, and it just happened to be that of Christian McCaffrey.
This year's cover athlete.
All right.
Who was the team chasing him? His Raiders.
Yep.
And he looked at me and he said, "You cannot lie to me, Snowman, that they set that up." And I said, "Well, your Raiders shouldn't have been chasing him. They should have tackled him." That got us going, and we were off the rails the entire hour. So much so, that there was a sound that I often played when I appeared on the air with him that would just make him shake his head and just die laughing.
Right.
This is that sound. Every time I played that, he would would just drop his head, shake his head, and start laughing, and he would just scold me and say, "I'm not going through this with you, Snowman." I'm like, "Oh yes, you are." And I'd push every button in the book, because that's one thing we all share is a love of laughter. In that spirit, we're going to do two things here in this next segment. And Jeffrey, thank you for joining us. We're going to do two things. We're going to talk about what his Raiders really need. But before that, we're going to joke around about what his Raiders really need.
Jesus.
Tom Brady to unretire.
That ain't going to happen.
That's not happening. Brady is done.
An old Brady's better than Geno Smith.
Shut up, Father.
True.
Hey, don't make me get him out here.
True as he is.
You know what? I can't find a lie with that. Geno Smith was signed with the Raiders, and Darian was excited about it
until he played.
And then I'm just sitting there thinking, and I mean this very jokingly, are you kidding me? Geno bleeping Smith.
Like I said,
trust. And Darian loves when I go off the rails on this because he did the same to us. Right? He did the same to us. But Tom Brady, why would you trust a 35-year-old Geno Smith? Hell, in some ways, I don't even know who the hell Geno Smith is.
Well, I'm looking at what Vegas has done here for their signs during the off season.
Nothing.
Expensive. A whole bunch of expensive nothing.
Expensive nothing.
Expensive nothing.
You got Geno Smith acquired in a trade with the Seahawks in exchange for a pick this year in the third round, number 92. He signed a 2-year extension worth $85.5 with $66.5 guaranteed. Okay, so be it.
Place in the AFC West, and I'm enjoying my wife's breakfast here.
They ended up signing Raheem Mostert, running back, to a 1-year, $2.1 million deal. Offensive guard Alex Kappa, 2-year, $11. Edge rusher Max Crosby signed to a 3-year extension worth $106.5.
He won't stay there.
And with $91.5 guaranteed. Other edge rusher Malcolm Knuth re-signed to a 1-year, $12 million deal.
Malcolm what?
Knuth, I believe it is. Koonce. Kuntz. Yeah, 1-year, $12 million deal. Adam Butler re-signed to a 3-year contract with 16.5 with 11 guaranteed.
Yoga fire.
Pretty much. Defensive line, Lecky Fotu re-signed. Well, ended up signing. No contract details given.
What?
2 more linebackers, 2 more corners, and 2 more safeties.
Okay.
Pretty much.
To sum it all up in Victor's word, Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they just dropped a good $300+ million on Jack Diddley squat. Because we all know that the only time that the Death Star is going to be sold out is this weekend for WrestleMania.
The only time Death Star is going to be sold out is when Brock Bowers makes a catch. And y'all know I love Brock Bowers. Now, why are we kidding around with the Raiders? For those of you that are just tuning in, why are we kidding around about the Raiders? Because we just lost someone very, very special who was a big-time Raiders fan. His name is Darian Hopkins. He was barely 39 years old. He had, I believe, a couple of months ago just turned 39.
Yeah.
And he and I would text back and forth every day or almost every day. And he just kept saying, I want to get my stuff together. There was a time that he quit. There was a time that he quit, and I told him, you better not. And I'm glad he didn't. I hate the fact that he's gone.
Yeah.
But in his honor, we're going to continue on. We're going to continue to laugh. We're going to continue to talk about his Raiders, because now his Raiders are coming to the forefront for him. We're doing that for him. And now let's get back into something that I know he adored, which is covering the WNBA.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, they have the mock draft up prior to tonight's actual draft. Washington Mystics going 3-4.
And the Mystics just acquired. I think the Mystics just acquired that pick.
I believe so.
And the 3 pick I like. Kiki Irifin out of USC.
Yes.
I like that. Then they're straight up in rebuilding mode, especially since the retirement of Elena Deladon.
Yeah.
And then you back it up with Sonia Citron, the sharpshooter from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists as a senior. They won a share of the ACC regular season title, and they reached the Sweet 16. First team all ACC pick, and was on the league's all defensive team.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
They're getting a great.
And then they got the number 6 pick as well.
The number 5 pick belongs to the expansion Golden State Valkyries, and they have Anissa Morrow out of LSU. Now that is a showstopper for them. Anissa Morrow is a showstopper for them.
Averaging 18-7 with 13.5 boards, and led D1 in double doubles at 30.
Led LSU to the Elite Eight in both her campaigns after she transferred from DePaul. She made 24 3-pointers during her 2 seasons in Baton Rouge. But the 53 she knocked down as a sophomore at DePaul, she can shoot. She can shoot the ball.
She's shown that.
Now,
it's just a matter of getting it in the system.
Now, according to this mock draft, Washington goes local at number 6 for Cheyenne Sellers from Maryland. And this is one of the picks that Allie highlighted. This is going to be interesting.
It's going to give the Mystics someone else they can rely on the point because looking at the fact that she can drop 14 with 4 dimes a game on average, and it has a near 41% 3-point range.
Yeah,
right.
That's going to be lethal down the stretch.
7 and 8 belong to Connecticut, and with 7 they go to Slovenia, according to this mock draft for Asia Sivka, 6'4" point forward. And it's surprising me that the Sun are in rebuilding mode. After they knocked out Indiana, they got knocked out. You know?
Yep.
After they knocked out Indiana, beg your pardon, and then Connecticut knocked out, and then they're in rebuilding mode. And speaking of rebuilding mode, there is someone that's going to join us, and I believe we're going to have him for the remainder of not only this segment, but the remainder of the show. Let's go to Carolina. We have a Spivey Notes takeover as Jay Spivey joins us from North Carolina. Jay, how are you, man?
Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Doing good. We're just going over
I wish I were doing better, but I'll just have to deal with what I'm dealing with.
Understood. We're going over the WNBA draft. We're going to put a pause on that with drafts all over the place this month. And let's hop over to the NFL draft. And we're going to start with you. Besides a new owner that ain't David Tepper.
And Jesus,
of course. What do the Carolina Panthers need to at least compete?
They need an offensive line, just about any position. They need some receivers, definitely a tight end. Most definitely a tight end. And with any rebuilding team, you're always going to need some. You're going to need some backs, linebackers, and defensive backs.
Yep.
So obviously a lot. They need a lot.
They need a lot. Where do they start? Do they start with the offensive line?
I think you have to deal with offense if you're going to perform well in the NFL. You got to start with offense, whether it be the line or again they need a tight end. I don't know if that's the route they go. They definitely need a tight end.
They haven't had a tight end since Greg Olsen.
Absolutely.
They have not had a tight end since Greg Olsen.
Yep.
And they are never going to compete with the complete offense unless they have a tight end.
Look at the dynamic teams in the NFL and the better teams. Most of them have at least a very good tight end. It starts there with the NFL offenses these days.
Yep.
Because NFL offenses don't go 30, 35 yards deep anymore. They go 10, 15 yards max most of the time.
Right.
Yeah. They
most of them only going like maybe 5 or 6.
They chuck and dunk.
Pretty much.
They chuck and dunk. And now we're looking at a Carolina team.
And you got to give your quarterback a chance to actually live and breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you sold on Bryce Young?
Not really, but I mean, I loved him at Alabama, but he's just, and I have nothing against him personally. He's a good guy, but he's just so small.
Yeah, he is.
He's small. He doesn't have a line in front of him. There were some points they're very few and far between, but there were some points last year in the Dallas game where you could tell Bryce was kind of feeling himself a little bit. He was starting to throw some better passes, but then like his line failed him. So he was starting to make bad decisions with the ball.
Their offensive line stinks.
By the way, speaking of somebody small that doesn't have a line in front of him. Hi, Droid.
Ooh.
Brother.
What?
Bringing me in like that? I get I'm 5'7", I'm short, but dang.
Right.
And you'll forever be short. We're talking NFL draft right now. Jay Spivey is with us as we're just hopping all over the place.
Morning, Spivey.
Yo.
You were talking NFL draft, and I can't help But talk about the draft projections of Ashton Genty. They have them going to the Raiders. May the NFL gods do this for me. No.
Where do you think Jay Genty should go?
The
He shouldn't
Saints.
go high.
Let's
He
make
should
this.
go with what NFL teams should do. He should go very high, like old school NFL, and go very high, like running backs used to be treasured. But I'm sure
think
they'll probably go to the middle of the end of the draft.
best situation for Genty would to be sitting behind Alvin Kamara for a couple of years, learning the game, because you want to sit behind a veteran running back, especially one of the best running backs to ever touch that South division, or even the NFL in general. You want him sitting behind a running back like that.
No offense, but that's not happening.
No,
NFL,
it's not
NFL
happening.
GMs are never going to allow
If
that.
he goes to the Raiders, I'm afraid that his career might have ended right then and there.
Wherever he goes, he's going to start right away.
And you know something? You know what? I am going to put a frown on Droid's face. I'm going to put a laugh in Victor's heart, and I'm going to drag the father out of the closet.
Oh no!
Up in Maine, when I say the following sentence. Now, before I say it,
Preface.
I do not expect this to happen. Here's my preface. I do not expect this to happen because of who they drafted last year. But if you really hell no. Northern California.
Oh, you greedy little son of a bitch.
I play the card Pot of Greed.
Like I said, I don't expect that to happen because they're going to be concentrating on the offensive and the defensive on the defensive line. I do not expect that to happen. Look at the look on Droid's face when I said that. But going back to Carolina.
Well, Snowman, it's time to start thinking about what's next for them because
the
running back is starting to get battered.
Yes, he is. And I don't expect him, and this is coming from someone who's covered the Niners, I don't expect him to last this year. This is why I'm putting the thought in my head.
When's the last time he was truly healthy for a full year?
23.
Well, he's been one healthy year in how many years now?
Actually, take that back. He has, until this past year, he was in every game since the Panthers traded him to San Francisco. It was just that this past year dealt him a blow, a bad one. So that's why I'm thinking Genty to San Francisco could be good for them because you not only have Isaac Guerrero, not only do you have Isaac Guerrero, who they just recently drafted out of Louisville, but then you get another back since they traded Jordan Mason and Mason's injury prone. You get another back in Ashton Genty who could and should compete for a starting job immediately. And to highlight Jay's point once again, they got to start looking to the future because McCaffrey's not going to be long for San Francisco, even though he is coming back healthy this year.
When you get to his age, you're long the tooth in the NFL at that position.
By the way,
and as many carries as he has.
Yeah, he's the bell cow of that offense. Go ahead, Shane.
He just gets murdered every game.
Yeah,
I was going to say, dealing with McCaffrey, the last season he had healthy before 23, where he played all the games, was 2019.
2019.
Yeah, that's my point.
2020, 2021.
So, man, if you remember correctly, I used to say that on the other show all the time.
Yes.
And I got chastised.
You got chastised so badly for that, and I don't understand why. Because
if I'm going to give you a realistic running back option, I think Skatibo is probably a little bit more realistic for the 49ers. I don't see Genty dropping all the way, and I don't see y'all getting a good enough trade with the Raiders.
I don't see Shanahan and Lynch drafting a back in the first round.
I can tell you right now what the projection is for them. I'm looking at it right now.
And that
Jahade Barron from Texas, their corner.
They need all the help they can get with all they lost in free agency.
They do.
They got destroyed in free agency.
Oh, dude, they got fire sailed.
They got pilfered.
a lot of the top teams this year got mollywopped, pillaged, and absolutely torn apart by free agency.
That's true.
Mainly the two giants in the AFC and the NFC.
To answer Jeffrey's question, who's New England looking like they're going to take? I can't believe I'm even saying this because I think it's going to be a mistake. Travis Hunter.
Nope. Not happening.
Jay, your thoughts on that?
Oh shit! I'd be happy to take him anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to go high.
They got him at 4 with New England. They got him at 4 with New England.
But would he fit New England?
Well, you got Vrabel, who's keen on defense, but Hunter knows exactly what he's doing on offense, and we do need another weapon for Drake May besides.
I know he wants to play offense. He's going to play a little offense. I'm sure they got some plays for him, but he's not going to play full-time offense.
I don't think so either.
No, he'll probably be more of a WR3 or WR4.
If he
I don't
plays,
even know if he's going to be a 3 or 4. I think he's just got some packages available for me. Maybe 5 or 10 times a game.
He's going to be kind of like a Deion Sanders hybrid,
right?
That's how I see him because he's on
this generation doesn't know how good an athlete Deion Sanders was,
and they refuse to look up how good Deion Sanders
and
was.
not just one sport. Had Deion played just baseball, he would have been a really good baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he'd have been dynamite had he just played.
Same with Bo Jackson.
Listen, I actually have a little quick question. Do you think Kyler Murray would have had a more successful career in baseball than in football?
Yes.
Probably so.
Yes.
And everybody knew that too. But he took the early money, and I don't blame him for doing that.
I don't blame him.
With the baseball contracts are set up, I don't blame him for doing that.
And I think one of the big things is
7 years to get his first real deal.
I have a lot of respect for Murray taking the football deal, mainly because a lot of people are looking at family first when it comes to when they get their first little bit of money. They're looking at retiring their family, their parents.
True. Mm-hmm. True.
And then after that, it's being able to retire yourself in the future.
I mean, he signed he got a signing bonus for when he signed with the A's, but I mean, yeah, that's a lot of money for most people, but football money is a lot bigger than your first contract.
It is. It is. Jay Spivey joining us here on the program for an extended version of Spivey Notes. We got the droid here with us, all the fans in the Fanatic Feedback Zone. And again, we're doing this in the honor of Darian Hopkins. We're having a lot of fun because we lost, according to his fiance Nessie, and we all looked this up, we lost Darian this morning at 2 a.m. So, Darian, we're doing all this for you, man. And the softball game that I'm going to do tonight will also be in his honor. And of course, we're going to cover the WNBA draft. Let's go there. Is there any doubt, Jay, that Paige Beckers goes number 1 overall?
No, she's without a doubt number 1.
She is.
Not even close.
And something you and I talk about often off the air, something that's finally happening is they're moving a lot of games to bigger arenas. But a lot of people have come to me, even this morning while I was prepping, coming in the studio, and you're not going to believe what I'm going to say, gentlemen. And I want to start with Jay with this. They're saying it's because of Angel Reese and not know who.
If you
I wanted to finish my sentence before I gave Jay the floor. Go ahead, Jay. It's yours.
If you look, almost every single game that's been moved to a bigger arena involves one team.
And that's
they reside in the city of Indianapolis.
Yep. That's the Indiana Fever, baby.
Who in the blue hell? Who in the blue hell told that lie?
Who told this lie?
Exactly.
I don't see Angel Reese's games on national TV 41 out of 44 times.
Listen. If you want to put Angel Reese on national TV to watch bricks, be my guest. But you're going to put Caitlin Clark on there.
Absolutely.
If we wanted to watch Angel Reese toss up bricks, we would have watched her in the Undisputed League.
I mean,
we would have watched her when she was in. We would have watched her more when she was in the NCAA at LSU.
there were still a lot of idiots during the WNBA season last year who thought she was Rookie of the Year. Did they watch the games?
Listen, they did not watch a thing. Okay,
Nope.
They didn't watch anything. And I'll tell you something else. They didn't see or bother not to see, and we've talked about this before, the impact that Caitlin Clark has had and will continue to have on the league. Can Paige Beckers equal that? I think she can.
Oh, easily.
I don't know that she's going to be the player that Caitlin is. That's the issue with that I have.
Right. How different
and it's going to be harder for her with Dallas. I mean, they really have nobody other than her. I mean, and it's going to take. And after this long season she just had, it's going to take her a year to get adjusted.
And we talked about that with Caitlin, with as deep in the run she made and going to the.
And the other thing is, I hate to say this, but Paige Beckers is pretty injury prone.
True.
I mean, she's had a lot of injuries.
I was going to say, what she have? 2 major injuries?
Yeah.
2 major injuries. And she is very much injury prone, but she's going to be the top pick tonight.
And all the people whining that they're on national TV 41 times, they ought to be mad that they're not on 44 times, because they should be on 44 times on national TV.
46 if you count the preseason.
Well, yeah. Well, that game that's in Iowa City, whatever day that is, that game without a doubt should be on TV.
It should be. And if it is,
it's sold out in 5 minutes or whatever it was.
It is.
By the way, dealing with Paige Beckers' injuries, she's had 2 torn ACLs and a stress reaction in 2022.
There you go.
That's
that's
drastic.
And she's pretty long and lean, so there's not a lot of muscle there.
You know, whoever she goes through, their trainers are going to have her doing overtime.
Dallas. She's
going Dallas one seat at the one.
Going Dallas? Well, Dallas don't really have much facilities to work with, do they?
Well, I'll tell you this. Dallas has moved their game with the Fever up to American Airlines Arena.
What a shocker.
Not
American Airlines Center? Play all the games there. Screw it.
Yeah, why not? We've been screaming that for a long time.
I think the moment a Kansas City WNBA team comes into the league and they play at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, because they're not going to put them at Kemper Arena. Or they're not going to put them at Cable Dahmer over in Independence. No, they're going to put them in T-Mobile Center, because it's going to be the first professional basketball team we've had since the Kansas City Kings.
Since the Kansas City Kings. Who should get an expansion team next in the WNBA, Jay?
Well, they need to. I'm okay with expansion, but they need to tone this down a little bit, because women's basketball is not as deep as people think it is.
No, it's not.
The depth is not there yet. And there's going to be a point here where you're going to run out of players.
I thought they'd run out of players this past year.
I'm okay with it now, but they got. I mean, there's a certain amount. At some point, you're going to have to stop this. You can't overexpand.
I think one more year of expansion, with 2 teams, and that's it.
We need one up here in Boston.
We need one
up here. We need one here in Boston.
So there's 13 teams right now. One more expansion to 14, and that should kill it.
I would go as high as 16, because 14 is a little unwieldy. 14 is a little unwieldy.
Yeah, go 8 per division.
So this year we got the Golden State team coming in.
Yep.
Then Toronto is Toronto.
Toronto's next.
Yeah.
And so that leaves one more. I heard Philly's wanting one. Charlotte wants one. Houston, I think Houston maybe want to get back in.
Do you bring back Charlotte? No, you bring back Houston. Bring back the Houston Comets. You bring back the Houston Comets, because that's a legacy team.
We need some representation up here in the Northeast, though, to be honest.
You got one, the Connecticut Sun.
Maybe put Boston in there. Put Boston in there.
Boston should get a franchise. But I think if you're going to expand anywhere else, you got to bring back the team that won the city that won your first 4 championships. I'm inclined to think you bring back the Houston Comets.
Why not?
I could see that.
You bring back the Houston Comets.
You know what? I'll tell you why not. Money.
Yeah.
I know that WNBA is going to think Houston won't make them the money, but they will. Trust me. Houston's got some dedicated fans throughout the Texans, the Rockets, the Astros. They got dedicated fans.
And they'll bring in the money in a heartbeat.
You said Texas?
Yeah, Houston.
I mean, let's be honest, Moronic Republic still base themselves in Houston as well, too.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's not the Moronic Republic of Texans Nation. It's still Cowboys Nation. But
exactly. But Cowboys fans.
Jay, go ahead.
Just like all the professional sports that Houston has, they act like they're a small market team. I mean, look at basically the fire sale that the Astros had during the offseason.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We let Bregman and Tucker go for some unknown reason.
That's confusing.
Yet they're the fourth largest city in the country.
Yeah, look what Bregman's done since he left.
Yeah, you don't let these.
Bregman's
you let
gone.
him walk.
Tucker's
you
gone.
let him walk, and you trade Tucker for basically nothing.
I'm so confused with that. Still.
I am too. Those are two players they needed to keep. You keep Altuve has cemented himself in history, okay? But why didn't they keep Kyle Tucker as well as Alex Bregman? Those are two of your other cornerstones.
You have to sign at least one of them.
At least.
I think the one they should have kept, honestly, should have been Tucker.
Tucker's tremendous, and you trade him. I know they got a decent player back in return. I understand that, but I don't understand why they act like they're a small market team, and they're not even close to a small market team.
You know why I would have kept Tucker? Protection for Yordan Alvarez.
That's what's going to happen when his contract's up. You gonna let him walk too?
They're going to let him walk, I believe.
Yeah.
Because now I do not believe in teams keeping their loyal players anymore. Because
I think they're one of those organizations that is so analytically driven. They think at some point you're washed up. And
all right,
not true.
All right,
not the analytics again.
All right.
Oh my God.
We may as well just hit this in the nose right now, and I begin with 3 words. I hate analytics.
I do too.
Period.
Facts.
I got another word that I use for that as well.
Load. Sorry for this.
Load.
I hate analytics. I loathe analytics. I abhor analytics because it's ruined sports.
Yes, I'm sorry for bringing this up, Mr. McCarthy, but I also hate Madden.
Ooh.
Ooh. Hey, listen. I have never in my life, I never thought I would say this aloud, but I've been saying it aloud since my mom got me a Madden game for Sony PlayStation. I never played it.
Oh,
really?
I never played it.
I played Madden.
Look, John Madden, the analyst, love him to pieces.
Oh my goodness!
Okay?
I played Madden 93, I think.
One of the very, very best. Madden, the video game, to me, blows. I can't do it.
And yet again, you'll find sitting on my Xbox both Madden 25 and NCAA 25.
I was surprised there.
The first Madden game I ever played, I think, was Madden 93. That was because my uncle had a Sega Genesis.
Yep.
And I would always play the 85 Bears because that was in there.
Refrigerator Perry, boys.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot.
Willie Gaulds.
With what I've seen on the Madden circuit, just in the videos I've watched alone, and the NBA 2K circuit, I can't do it. I can't do it.
And the thing is, these circuits get so competitive.
Oh my goodness!
Oh Lord, competitive would be an understatement,
right? To say the very
least. Again, look at the two people you got sitting next to you here, boss man. I think we know a little something about competitive esports.
Yep.
As he's rocking and rolling right now.
This is a custom controller with back pedals and everything. I think I know something a little bit about competitive.
It's Elite controller.
Same here,
it's
brother.
It's not the Elite controller because you can see the D-pad's still the old one.
Go ahead, Jack.
I'm not a player, but I certainly respect what the game of Madden has done for not only culture, but for football and NFL.
Yeah.
It has changed the culture of the whole sport.
Yeah. It's,
It has.
It's not Madden's fault. It's not the Madden game's fault that an owner decided to use Madden to make personnel decisions.
It has absolutely exploded upon us.
It has, man.
Crazy.
Who could have ever imagined it would have become what it's become?
It's wild.
I didn't imagine it, but it is.
It's like throwing a grenade and having it bounce back to you.
Oh Lord, don't say that.
Quit playing Call of Duty, man. I've had that happen too many times.
You guys know better than I. I mean, I'm assuming it's by far the biggest sports game, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Well, no. Technically, in terms of player base, 2K is the biggest sports game.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
but Madden sells a crap ton more copies.
Mm-hmm.
See, I can't play 2K for a simple reason. I love watching it more. I love watching basketball. Well, I did for the longest time.
But here's the thing: you can play as your favorite players. That was the whole selling point of Madden back in the day. Was you could play as Bo Jackson, you could play as Brett Favre, you could play as Joe Montana. Like,
why do you want to play as Brett? Why did you want to play as Brett Favre?
There's some loyal Packers fans out there that missed him.
Cheese heads out there, sir.
Brett
Favre.
I never,
or as Paul Allen would say in his 12 Days of Christmas, number 4 sitting on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
The Mississippi thief.
I can't do this.
But the thing is with 2K is it's like you could play as Jordan, you could play as the other guy, but
I'd rather watch. Okay.
So I remember 2K.
Do you really want to watch the NBA right now?
No. No.
Okay, that's a lie. You do because your Warriors are back in the race.
How about last week when the Warriors and Lakers played and they combined to shoot 77 3-point attempts?
That's crazy.
Let me answer.
That's a little.
Let me
much.
answer Jay's question.
Crazy.
Let me answer Jay's question. Do I really want to watch the NBA right now? It goes like this.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
I'm gonna complete
there.
But my question is, Snowman, what keeps bringing you back?
I'm not back.
I'm gonna be a complete and utter.
That's a lie. We've had multiple times.
Yes.
Comes back to the Bulls
Let me speak.
when he's 30 years old.
There have been multiple times where we've had conversations on and off the air, and you said, I'm going to get back into calling the NBA. Close.
Yeah. I saw that.
I heard that. Well, I will say this.
So you can't deny it that you wanted to get back.
I'm gonna be.
But it's only mainly because your Warriors are doing good.
Are they? They're in the playing game.
They're in the they're in the playing.
They're at least in the playoffs. I mean, like weeks ago, they were not even in the conversation.
Well,
not really in the
what
playoffs.
after the highlights I saw yesterday, they deserve everything they get. I said it at the top of the show, and I'm keeping it that way.
You can't lose to the Clippers yesterday, but they did.
You couldn't. You
That
should
Clippers team is getting good, though.
Spurs.
No, that's
They
a good
should
point.
have
Yes,
the Spurs
absolutely.
game
Yes.
cost them the 6th seed.
Yeah, absolutely.
They win that game, they seal up the 6th seed, and they get a week off.
Yep.
But nope, they lost to the Spurs, and they were beating the hell out of the Clippers. Lost to them.
How does that happen?
Don't get me started.
Apparently, Draymond Green missed a layup at the buzzer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, there's your answer right there. A
In the end,
layup.
it comes back to Draymond.
A layup.
He missed the layup.
Draymond Green
He missed
is
the
what we
layup.
call
Wait a
a
minute.
parasite.
He missed the layup in the final 5 seconds of the Spurs game.
Mm-hmm.
And it took Steph to rescue them for the moment to tie him at 111 until the former player, Harrison Barnes, beat him at the horn.
Right.
Again, Draymond is what we call a parasite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I got no argument.
I
there.
can't even defend him anymore. It's gotten
Me
this
neither.
bad.
Me neither.
Because I'm like, at
Me
least he was keeping his nose clean. But come on, man.
You can't.
Yeah, at least he's not choking out Rudy Gobert. Oops,
I'll ask this question.
This is
Oh,
true.
listen, if the Warriors don't make it in, is this the last season for Draymond?
Yep.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think this is it.
Would not be
Unless they
surprised.
get
I think you have to make this the cutoff point because you've had multiple seasons where you could have made the playoffs, but then one little Draymond suspension has gotten you killed and out of the playoffs.
Exactly. I went off on this last year.
You
And the owners are paying a fortune on it with this salary.
His fines and his therapy sessions and all this other stuff. It's like you shouldn't have to have this much help to just behave yourself and play the game correctly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, Draymond needs
It
to
makes
his
you-
therapy sessions and Steve Kerr's.
Right.
Not to, piss on the man's legacy. He was great back then, but he just seems childish now.
But that's what makes it so annoying because you know what he's capable of.
Right.
Draymond Green is starting to sound a lot like Dennis Rodman.
But not the same.
At least Dennis Rodman has multiple rebound titles, and the only one I think 4 times to win Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, between the two of them, who has more rings between the two of them?
Rodman by
No.
It is
No. It is Dennis.
It is
5
Dennis.
to 4.
That's what I thought.
5 to 4.
Okay. I knew it was pretty close. I just didn't know.
Yeah,
what the
5 to 4. Thank you for catching that, Victor. I think this is the last stand.
This is the last stand.
When Dennis was sane, people forget how much he provided for the Bulls and the Spurs.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I agree.
And then, of course, he ends up going to WCW for a night, and then
that was funny. That was funny.
He and Karl Malone.
Yep.
He and Karl Malone.
And they still didn't get it settled.
No.
In the Georgia Dome for a night, they did.
Yeah.
But I also want to bring a point to the ever dreaded team over there in Charlotte.
Oh boy.
Do you think this is Ball's last straw with this team?
Yep. I think it is. Jay, what do you think?
Which team is this again?
Your Hornets.
My Hornets?
Not your Hornets, but the Hornets. I don't think Jay is playing with the Hornets.
The Hornets.
They're lucky this is not the Premier League in England where they could be relegated.
Relegated to the G League.
I've
You
said
know
this
what?
over and over and over. And I actually heard, I think it was Barkley say this a couple weeks ago. It's not a destination either for free agents.
It's not.
And I've been saying this over and over and over, and people around here just hate it when I say that, but it's true.
It is true.
Charlotte's
There's
the
nothing at all wrong with the city of Charlotte. It's a great city. But
is.
it's not. It's like Oklahoma City. They're not going to go to free agents. Aren't going to Oklahoma City. They just happen to do really well in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte.
They've never, and they never will.
The Hornets never get a high pick in the draft ever.
And that was the point. That was the point I was going to make. They never will get a high pick in the draft.
And they have like third choice this time in the lottery. You know they're not going to win the lottery.
Nope.
They would love to build around Cooper Flag, but they're not going to get the number one pick. Everyone in the world knows it.
Ever.
Didn't Cooper Flag also say he was going to stay another year?
He's not staying.
He's not staying.
No way he's staying.
He's not staying.
He said he wanted to stay another year so he could win a championship.
Well, he's not going to win
That
it.
ain't gonna happen.
Not going to win it, dude.
Nope.
Not with that. And that's another point I wanted to bring up. You wanted to talk about John Shire, will you please? Just go in, please.
He's a recruiter. He's not a coach. You can't lose that game last week.
When you had him down with 8 minutes left, double digits.
You were up by 10 with 3 minutes to go or whatever it was. You can't lose that game.
And they choked.
I'll tell you how much I thought that game was in the bag. And I generally stay with the game to the very end. But I left with however many minutes, I think it was 3 or 4 minutes to go. They're up 8 or 10. I thought it was in the bag. I turned to the beginning of Saturday Night Live. Came back after the cold open, which couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. And it was tied.
Yep.
You can't let that game go.
Like,
what has John Shire done since he's been the head coach? Yes, he's got recruit after recruit after recruit.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is how much they're paying these kids, which I don't mind. That's the rules.
Answer.
What has he won?
Nothing.
Meanwhile, Krzyzewski, who was sitting there at the game that night, I guarantee he would have won a couple of these games.
He'd have beaten Houston up easy.
Yeah.
That would have been a 30-point blowout at halftime.
I mean, they're not going to have. I mean, that team was loaded this year, and they're not going to win.
And they're not going to win
a team
with
like
them.
that again.
Nope. They're not going to win with him at all.
And again, I'm going to say this league is absolutely horrible. I don't care what people say.
Yep.
Yeah, the ACC is terrible.
And it will continue to be such.
But until they start and realize how important other sport, especially football, is, and how the SEC has used that football money to improve their other sports, they're not going to do it.
No, they're not. They're not going to do that.
It's basically one team, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Carolina I think, is going the right way about this, especially with football. Yeah, they're spending a lot of money on Belichick and some coaches and improvements to facilities and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to.
If you want to really compete, you're going to have to.
It's stupid. They're so wrong. They're so wrong.
Mm-hmm. They are wrong. They are wrong.
And again, just like our friend,
oh God,
focuses on Duke 365 days a year. I even told him that a couple weeks ago. I told him that on Facebook a couple weeks ago.
And
quit worrying about what Duke's doing and worry about yourself.
Please.
He won't.
Man, Carolina fans amaze me. All they think about is Duke 365 days a year.
And that's what cost him a national championship 3 years ago.
Yes,
that's what cost him a national
Ohio
championship
State
3
and
years
Michigan are
ago.
obsessed with each other in football. I understand that. But even though Ohio State lost to Michigan this past year, did it bother them that much to go to the national championship?
No, not at all. They went on and won the doggone thing.
I still say 3 years ago, whatever that was, when Carolina beat Duke in the Final Four.
3 years ago. Yep.
And then lost to Kansas, and all my Carolina people were like, we don't care. Oh, we beat Duke. We beat Krzyzewski in his last game. What?
Right. It's like, shouldn't you be worried about the titles?
3 years ago, that night, the night of the national championship, I was under the knife.
Mm-hmm.
Play the clips, though, man. Play Herman Edwards clip.
Do you have it?
I better have it because it's one I play often. If not, I will get it.
The answer is right there in what he says.
Oh,
you play to win the game.
There you go.
You play to win the game.
Thank you. You don't play to lose to Kansas in the national championship.
You don't play to be within 20 minutes of a
look at Jordan with a big grin on his face.
Listen,
Kansas.
You don't play to be within 20 minutes of a national championship with a 17-point lead, and then you choke.
And then you choke like a chicken bone.
Hubert Davis, again, who I called a JV coach when I was on that show,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't like that either. What has Hubert Davis done?
Listen, Jay said it on my show, and I thought it was correct.
Because he is a JV coach.
He is a JV coach. Hey, listen, and to that friend,
you fool!
That's all I got to say.
He did not like every time I said it. He couldn't stand it.
He couldn't stand it every time you came on my show and told the truth, and people gravitated toward it.
Well, I said it, and I believe it.
I believe it too.
And I got nothing against Hubert as a person. Everybody says he's a phenomenal person. I'm sure he is. That doesn't mean he can coach.
Just because you like someone personally doesn't mean that they're professionally good at what they do.
Thank you, Victor, for that statement, because there's quite a few on that list.
There are a lot of snakes who are coaches too.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean they're not good coaches.
With the Carolina fans, all I can think of is Playmaker's statement.
You put me in a stupid realm.
Think. I told you, Victor, I kept that button. For them to think that beating Duke in the national semi-final is bigger than choking against Kansas in the national championship.
What kind of mentality is that you don't care about winning the national championship?
I don't get it.
We beat Duke. We beat Krzyzewski in his last game. Who cares?
It's kind of like how
Who cares?
how Bear fans were jovial about them beating the Packers at the end of the season. Like, I get it. I
understand that they beat their biggest rival, but did it help?
But they were already eliminated.
They were gone 3 games prior.
One of my dear friends is a Carolina grad, and he is a huge Carolina basketball supporter.
Mm-hmm.
And he jumped down my throat for saying that, and I still don't tell him that. He's like, "You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong." No, I'm not wrong.
No, not wrong.
And as for the Bears,
no lies be detected.
I will say it until I go 6 feet under in about 55 years. Dear Chicago Bears, you have risked, mortgaged, doubled down, and now threw away your entire future for DJ Moore.
There you
For
go.
DJ Mo, we do not like.
What did I say about DJ Moore when he was with the Panthers?
He was a 2 at best.
And he didn't like that either when I said that.
I'm sure he did.
I love it.
But it wasn't untrue.
No.
You know what sports talk is missing? And I'm directing this
honesty
to every Victor, dang it. Wait. But
Victor, you know what? Victor, you know what?
I just crawled into the head again.
You know what, Victor? That's for you. But you know what sports talk is missing nowadays? And Jay has said it on this show. Shane has said it. Droid has said it. Victor has said it. And y'all know I've said it for the 11 years I've been active doing this particular show.
Mm-hmm.
There is no straight up honest sports talk anymore until you come here.
How about the word sports that you just mentioned? I know that's a small word, but it's all encompassing.
You know what?
How about talk about all sports?
Now you're getting in my head. Now you're getting.
I
Now
mean,
y'all are all getting. Now you all are getting in my head because
look at everything we've covered here today already.
We started with the Masters.
This show talks about everything. There are a lot of shows that don't.
I
mean, a lot of shows that don't.
Listen, every show on the 4-letter network
is political.
Why do you think Rob Manfred came out a couple weeks ago and said that ESPN never talked about baseball?
Because they
never.
don't.
Even on opening day a couple weeks ago, they never mentioned the opening day.
Jay, since you and I have been together on the air, which has now covered 4 years, how often do we talk about baseball?
Quite often. Quite often.
When we first got together on the air, what were we told?
Not to talk about baseball because our listeners don't like baseball.
And yet, in the time that Jay and I have been together, we always slip in some baseball talk.
It's
always.
Because it's sports. It's a sport.
Even though my wife teases me that it's not a sport, but let me brag on Jody for a moment. And I've told this story before. I don't think Jay knows it, but Jody does not like baseball, but she is very supportive of the sport I grew up watching, of the first sport I ever loved. So much so that she gave me a White Sox birthday a few years ago.
There you go.
She gave me a White Sox birthday. Now, how supportive is your better half when a sport that they cannot stand, and she's told me as such, she will walk behind me and kid with me, hey, baseball's not a sport, but she's that supportive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's been supportive since Jay and I got together on the air. And she teased me then. Yeah, Jay heard her say baseball's not a sport, and Jay cracked up laughing. Really?
There's stuff to talk about all the time. There's just the 4-letter network refuses to talk about it.
Which is why they lost Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Which is why they lost Major League Baseball.
They're going to regret that decision.
They are.
Easily.
Yes, they are.
Which is why tonight, after Allie wraps up the draft, I got Monday Night Baseball.
Because it's obvious that MLB wanted to stay with ESPN. It's just they came to a point where they just couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious that Rob Manfred wanted to stay with ESPN.
And I'll say again, what led to the demise of Monday Night Baseball, in my opinion, was them cutting two talents, John Miller and Joe Morgan.
Sunday night
Baseball. Thank you.
They were terrific.
Yeah, they were.
When they cut John Miller and Joe Morgan, the downhill slide began.
I'll be honest, guys, with the guys they have on there with Ravitch and Perez and Cohen,
they're not.
All they talk about is analytics. They don't talk about the game at all.
Absolutely.
I mute the game every time they're on. I mute it
because at some point it's got to be more than just analytics. Like there's no purity in talking about the sport at all.
And they want to talk to players on the field for 3 innings at a time. I don't care.
Right.
I don't
find out anything relevant from a guy playing first base.
When I cover baseball, screw analytics.
Exactly.
I look at the game. I look at the game itself as to what is happening in front of me.
Right.
That's why you're so good for Columbia East.
There you go.
What's happened? I look at the game that's happening in front of me and pay attention to those details.
Thank you.
Not who does what against right-handers or against left-handers.
It doesn't matter because in the end, it's going to be any given pitch can be different.
I watch my team and I watch how much they suck right now. I don't care what their analytics says.
Right.
The Braves absolutely suck right now. I don't care about analytics.
And you said that at the top of the season.
Yeah.
You said that he said that before the season started.
Oh, wait, everybody talking about the Braves going to win the World Series. What?
Where? How?
They're going to be lucky to finish third in their own division. Lucky.
And
they're in last place right now.
They're not going to get to third because right now there's a team in the National League East that I think is going to run away with it, and it ain't Philadelphia.
It's New York.
It's the Mets.
God, I hope it's not the Mets.
Well, I mean the biggest thing for the Mets did was sign Soto.
It's the way they're playing right now. It's the way they're playing right now. Can that change over the course of the summer? Absolutely. It's 162 games. And I know JJ is going to reach through this computer and choke me for what I said about Philadelphia. But he will tell you himself where Philadelphia struggles.
Pitching.
He will tell you himself where the Phillies struggle.
Right now, I actually think the Phillies are better than the Mets. That doesn't say the Mets aren't going to be better by the end of the season. But right now, I think the Phillies are better.
Exactly. And I agree 100% with that. I agree 100% with that. Jeez, what we're doing.
And the Phillies own the Braves now. They just own the Braves.
Since last year. Since the tail end of last year.
Well, no, it's just the playoffs a couple of years ago. This has been going on for more than a year.
Right. Because right now.
They own the Braves.
Because right now, the Atlanta Braves in all their glory have got to be looking at the Philadelphia Phillies and to a point this year, the New York Mets, and wonder,
who in the blue hell are you?
Well, I'm going to say this. I said this last night on Facebook. I'm on a Braves fan page on Facebook. And I said it last night. And I'm finally starting to hear some people come around to what I've been saying for the last 4 years. The Braves have not been the same since they let Freddie Freeman walk.
Facts.
Victor, your cap machine, please.
Cap detection tool. Nope, the board is clean.
I'm looking at my cap detection tool, and it's clean as a whistle. There is no lie with those statements, man.
None.
Matt Olson is not anywhere close. Not only just the player, he's not the person. He's not the leader that Freddie Freeman is. And they they completely capitulated to what Ronald Acuna wanted because he didn't like Freddie Freeman because he actually told him what to do. So they capitulated and let Freddie walk for some unknown reason. They traded for Matt Olson and traded 1 million picks for him.
And the bad part is Freeman wanted to stay in Atlanta.
He desperately wanted to stay in Atlanta.
He wanted to stay in Atlanta.
He started crying and crying and crying, and I don't blame him.
No do I.
And so what have they done since he left? Absolutely nothing.
Let me answer this the way my wife would. Nothing.
Yeah, they had the best record in baseball a couple years ago. So what? They got trounced in the playoffs.
They got smashed. They got absolutely smashed.
The Phillies smashed them. Smashed them.
Come here. Give me this. there's a sound that I need to play, and Victor's gonna love it. And I know Ryan McCoffey's tuning in, and all my other friends are tuning in. What? There are actually black men on this show that talk baseball?
How about that? How about that?
How about that?
It's great. And what did we talk about last year?
Listen,
last week.
Same. Hockey.
No, we talked about baseball.
And we talk hockey and we talk baseball.
What did we talk about last week? Where I said that it is absolutely maddening that with all of the work, the blood, sweat, and tears that the Negro League put into just
Yep. And the first conversation Jay and I had when we were on the air together was about Hank Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only time that he ever had that conversation up was when Hank Aaron died.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, I feel like it's necessary we talk about Hank Aaron. What do you guys want to say about his death?
Well, he gave me a list of points to hit. You know what I did? I tore it up.
Wow.
I tore him up. And Jay and I had a natural conversation about Hank Aaron and what he did for baseball, period.
Just look at those guys. I mean, look at the game they had last year in Alabama, and it's a shame that Willie Mays died right before the game.
Right.
But just look at the impact of all those guys that are in the Negro League.
Yep.
Yeah, the game they had in Rockford.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what? You know what? We're the most honest sports talk show on air. Period. Television and radio.
I mean, I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world, but if you got something relevant to talk about in the MLS, I'll talk about it.
Same.
If you want to talk about how sorry the men's national team is, I'll talk about that.
And have done so.
I'll be happy to talk about how sorry that men's national team is with all the money we throw into it.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. And the kind of soccer I talked about has not been MLS per se, but it's been what I grew up on, which is indoor soccer.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on the Chicago Sting. I grew up on the San Diego Sockers, the Tacoma Wings, Dallas Sidekicks, all those guys.
We're going to get embarrassed next year when the World Cup's here.
Oh, dude, we're gonna
get
smacked.
embarrassed.
We're gonna get smacked.
We're gonna get embarrassed.
Listen,
with a capital E.
I'm not gonna watch the USA play a lot, but I will be in Kansas City for those World Cup games.
Well, that's great. I mean, I got nothing against the World Cup, but we stink.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest player that we have right now is Christian Pulisic. And does he play in the MLS? No. He plays in Serie A with Milan.
Yeah.
Because nobody, and I mean it, nobody wants to play in the MLS.
No. They don't pay enough, and plus it's barely. I don't even know if you can call it AAA soccer.
The MLS
is more like double.
And another thing is, the one thing that I think is killing the MLS is their Apple TV partnership.
Oh, that's stupid. That was stupid.
That's ruining it. That's flat.
It's not ruining it. It's killing the MLS because you're making it exclusive to Apple users.
Listen,
Yeah.
Apple TV needs to go.
How many
Apple
people are going
monopoly.
to flock to
Period.
Apple TV just to get MLS?
Let me try.
Nobody.
Let me say this again. Apple TV and Apple TV Plus, as far as Major League Baseball goes, and a great shout out to my great friend Andre Morgan from who's in Arizona now, but lived in Chicago for a long time. Apple TV needs
It's
to
trash.
go
Because
And I'm going to make this very clear. I'm going to make this very clear. Why is the NWSL more successful? Why is the Bundesliga more successful in America than its own major league?
It's more available.
Because they're on ESPN. They're on the 4-letter network's subscription service. You can watch NWSL games on ESPN. You can watch Bundesliga games on ESPN. You can watch La Liga games on ESPN. You can even watch Premier League games on ESPN.
The only league in North America, well, especially America, United States of America, that's going to do well by streaming is NFL.
Yeah, it is.
We saw that this past year when they put Christmas games on Netflix. It's going to happen again this year when they put Christmas games on Netflix.
Well, I thought. Never mind.
Yeah, the only league that can get away with that is the NFL.
That's it.
NASCAR's going to get hurt when they go to prime for their 5 races. I mean, as it is, they have practice and qualifying, and no one's watching.
Well, actually, I'm going to disagree with that one, Shaner. I get Fox has been the dominant network, but Prime is cheaper than any Fox subscription.
Dude, the thing is, Fox is on regular TV outside of FS1.
But how many NASCAR friends are going to get Prime to watch the Charlotte race?
Actually, a lot of people already have Prime just because they have wives that love to watch their little shows.
That's true about that, yes. But how many people are going to get it just to watch that race?
Just to watch NASCAR? Nobody. But more people are going to get it to watch movies. And then they're going to be like, oh, wait, NASCAR's on here? Let me tune this on.
You know what's helped me since Jody and I cut the cord? Prime has helped me. Oh, Amazon has helped us because of one little station, Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus. When you can couple Paramount Plus with Amazon, because y'all know Jody, she jokes around with me every Sunday about finding the Colts game, whether if it's a 1 o'clock or a 4 o'clock game, and I usually find it. And I usually find it. She'll be a play ahead of me watching the game on Paramount Plus before I can call it.
So what is the
I
best?
think the only problem I have with Paramount Plus is their streaming quality.
Oh, it's perfect here.
So, what's the best ability? We talk about all the time.
Availability.
That's the thing.
Best ability is availability. That applies not only to players and coaches, it also applies to networks. It also applies to broadcasters. And
I will make this clear. MLS's contract with Apple TV is up after this upcoming season.
They need to push the plunger now.
Yeah.
After their partnership with Apple TV is over, they need to switch. They need to get a deal with ESPN. They have to say this is to save the tour, because even their minor leagues, the USL, is on ESPN. MLS is trying to be all so unique, but you're basically limiting your audience to Apple users.
They're trying to be elite.
How
Because
many young people do you know in America who follow? How many that follow the MLS religiously? Not me.
Religiously, I know one person. His name is Kevin Show, but that's it.
Now, they follow them. They follow the Euro. They follow the Euros and the Serie A and the Premier League. They follow that, and the Bundesliga. They follow that.
Listen, I follow the EPL more than I have the MLS in the past few years. The only reason I started paying attention to sporting this year is because I found ways around the Apple TV system.
I mean, the Charlotte team is 75 miles from where I live. I'm not going to drive down there to see them play.
Exactly.
Listen, I will go to see Sporting play just because it's only an hour away. It's only an hour away, and it's in KCK, so I don't have to worry about KCMO traffic.
Right, absolutely.
That is perfection for somebody like me who lives in Kansas, and the fact that we even have a professional team in Kansas. The fact that we even have a professional speedway in Kansas is shocking to me.
I followed MLS for a while, but that's only because of the Chicago Fire.
Yeah.
And me.
And after they won the cup, I stopped. I told you I grew up on indoor soccer, which is time like football, 4 quarters, 15 minutes apiece. That's what I grew up with.
But MLS is trying to follow the traditional 2 halves, 45 minutes each plus injury time.
That's what I hate more than anything with soccer. Have the time done on the stadium, not by the referees.
Right.
And if you got an injury, stop the clock.
Which they don't, and I find that.
But that's just the way it's tradition. It's just tradition. That's how all the rules are made up across Bundesliga. You're going to see the same thing in Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A. You're going to see the same thing in Eurodivision. You're going to see the same thing in the EPL. It's all the same, and there's a reason for that. It's because if you're all playing different games, then how are the Americans going to be able to compete in, the nationals? How is Mexico going to be able to compete in the nationals? How is Canada, especially with Canada's teams in the MLS? How are they going to compete when our format is different than theirs?
We don't use our best athletes to play soccer. and never will, and never have done it.
I beg to differ because Tyler Adams, one of our center midfielders, is one of our best midfielders right now. And guess where he plays? Oh, he plays in the Premier League.
Okay, he might be an exception then.
Yeah.
And I do not appreciate Bournemouth players' disrespect. I'm sorry.
You pointed out one player. Name me some more. One.
I wish I could, but here's the thing: we have so many great prospects here, not just in the MLS, but also throughout the Premier League, throughout La Liga, throughout all these other leagues in Europe and in the Americas. You can even go down to the Brazilian leagues.
Soccer is primarily a rich person sport in America, and it's not that way every other country in the world.
When you look at Brazil, like even in the slums, they're playing soccer.
That's my point.
Yep.
It's their way of getting out.
You got to give people a reason to grow up on the sport.
Look at Venezuela and Dominican baseball. What other ways is there for them to get out other than baseball?
True.
Cuba, that was the only way that players could even escape their country at some point.
Same. Yeah. And seeing it happen. And we got to wrap this up. Jay Spivey joining us for an extended version of Spivey Notes. Man, I'm glad you're back, and we touched every sport possible because we're a sports show. Can't help it.
We didn't talk about badminton or ping pong or anything.
Not yet.
Do we really want to go down those rabbit holes?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't mind.
Let's go.
I wouldn't mind.
Save it for next time, Jay.
We'll see you next week, Jay. Thank you. Darian, all that was for you, brother. We miss you and we love you. Have a great day. God bless. And remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. And remember Darian Hopkins, folks. Show his family some love. We're out of here. See you tomorrow. Darren, we love you, buddy, and we will miss you terribly. So long, folks.